Voice note for December 28th. I had to put Mr. Mittens down today. His illness had become too much for him to bear. I cried the entire trip to the vet. I cried when they put him down, and I cried all the way back. I was practically driving on instinct because my tears weren't letting me see the road. I haven't been this sad since those kids pushed Mary in front of that truck when we were little. Honestly, I just wanted to lay down in bed for the whole day and cry until I fell asleep, but I had to go and buy groceries. I had spent the whole week taking care of Mr. Mittens, so I didn't exactly have time to go to the store. And I didn't have any food for tomorrow. I dragged myself into the supermarket, and I was faring relatively well. Then I started crying in a jar of pickles. I had read somewhere that pickles are good to fight depression and anxiety. For some strange reason. I don't know why. And I could definitely have used them. But when I was going to put the pickles in the basket, I accidentally bumped into someone. Hard. I fell to the floor, and so did my jar of pickles. There on the floor, surrounded by and smelling like pickles, I just started to cry. Harder than I had cried all day. I just wanted to lay there forever and never again have to stand up. I didn't feel strong enough, physically or mentally, to get up. But the person I had bumped into was surprisingly nice. They had helped me get back up and gave me a packet of tissues to dry my tears, and some of the pickle juice that had soaked into my clothes. I looked at them to say thanks and realized that they were also very good looking. They looked at me with the most compassionate eyes and said, "Having a hard day? It's okay. We all have our rough moments. Just make sure to always keep moving forward." I was feeling a lot of different emotions at that moment, so I just nodded and quickly turned away. Meeting them has been the only good thing that has happened to me this horrible day. I'm still thinking about them. Voice note for January 1st. Today, everyone is celebrating New Year's Day, and I'm out here rotting in bed and crying as usual. It's the first time that I start a new year without Mr. Mittens since I was 14. I love that cat so much. I still haven't gathered up the courage to get rid of his things. I can see his little cat bed from where I am, and it pains me every day. Voice note for January 3rd. Today, something good happened. I went to go buy groceries, and I found that person from the other day again. They said hello to me, and we talked for a bit. I was clearly still looking down because they asked me if I was going through hard times in my life. I told them my cat had died, and they were very understanding. They shared with me stories about their childhood pets, and then showed me some pictures of their partner's cat. The cat was very cute, but for some strange reason, knowing that they had a partner made me feel so mad. Despite that, seeing them again has been the highlight of my day. My 2 interactions with them have been the only moments I've felt some kind of positive emotion since Mr. Mitten's passing. Maybe I should go to the supermarket more often. I'd love to see them again. Voice note for January 6th. I started going to the supermarket every day in hopes of seeing them again. And today, I finally did. They were already checking out when I arrived, so I decided to do something different. When they exited the building, I started to follow them. I was curious. I followed them for around 20 minutes until they entered a building which I assume is their apartment complex. Maybe I should start doing daily walks in that neighborhood. Walking will probably help me fight my bad mood anyway. Voice note for January 11th. Today I saw their partner. They seemed to live together. When I saw them walking hand in hand, I wanted to puke and cry at the same time. Why do they get to have them for a partner? Why can't it be me? I guess they're just out of my league. I don't think anyone in their right mind would love me. Voice note for January 25th. This has been a very productive week. I know their daily routines, which will make watching them that much easier. I think I'm actually getting addicted to watching them. But really, how can I not? They're so beautiful. Also, I've been fired from work. I actually haven't gone to work since Mr. Mittens died. I had planned on going back last week, but I found a much better use of my time. Watching my darling. But that idiot I had as a boss said that I'd been absent too many times and fired me. Screw him. I don't need his money. I just need my darling. Voice note for January 28th. Well, it's been 1 month since Mr. Mittens passed. It hit me even harder than I expected. After 15 years of having a cat as my only source of joy, it's hard to accept that he's gone forever. And that he'll never get to meet my darling. Why can't I have 2 sources of happiness in my life? Why do only I deserve pain? I spent the whole day in bed, crying. I didn't even have the strength to follow my darling. Thankfully, yesterday I'd installed a camera in their living room so I could just watch them from my phone. They were watching some movie, and when I saw them cuddle with their partner, I started screaming into my pillow and crying even harder. I never wanted to both be someone and to kill that same person so much. If hate could be used as a form of energy, I wouldn't need to worry about my gas bill this year. Voice note, February 14th. Today I don't feel strong enough to write a lot. I saw my darling celebrating Valentine's Day with her partner. I feel like I'm drowning in envy and jealousy. My bank account is running dry. Can't really think about that. I just need my darling with me. Voice note for February 21st. Today I went by a gun shop. I don't know what possessed me, but I felt like I needed to buy one. Fortunately, my firearms license is still valid, although I'd spent half of my already meager savings on it. Seems like I'll be eating rice and potatoes for a long time. I don't even know what I want the gun for, but I felt a strong need to buy one, just in case. It reminds me a lot of the one my dad used to have, although this one looks updated. Voice note from March 2nd. My landlord just told me that if I don't pay rent this month, he is going to evict me. I know I should find a job, but I can only think about my darling. I need them to be with me, and I won't be able to concentrate on anything else until I have them here. Hopefully I'll be able to call them my partner in less than a month. If not, I'm going to have to sell my car or just be homeless. And Mr. Mittens wouldn't be proud of me if I ended up living on the streets again. I just need to take their partner out of the equation. Even if I hate their face with a burning passion, I'll start following them to figure out where and when I can strike. If they're still dating, I don't think my darling would ever accept me. Voice note for March 6th. Today I was kicked out of the supermarket because I was caught shoplifting. I'm not proud of it, but I just don't have the money for food anymore. Thankfully, it already happened after my darling had already gone home, so they didn't see me be humiliated like that. But now I've lost the only place where I actually talked with them. I feel furious and miserable, hungry, all at the same time. Tomorrow I'll go to the food bank and pray that my darling doesn't see me. I would just die if they saw me like that. Voice note from March 10th. This situation cannot go on. I need my darling to be mine as soon as possible, or I'm going to lose both my mind and my home. I need them so bad, and they will be mine. Honestly, at this point, I don't even care if they want me to be their partner or not. They will be mine one way or another. I need to feel their touch, to see their beautiful eyes and hear their delicious voice every day, or I'm going to go crazy. And for that, the first thing I need to do is get rid of that leech who dares to call themselves their partner. I already have a plan. If it all works out, my darling and I will be happy together very, very soon. Voice note from March 12th. Today, my darling's partner had a driving accident while going to work. Apparently, their cruise control had malfunctioned and they weren't able to slow down their car, which ended up in a horrible crash. They're in the hospital in critical condition. I really thought that they would die. But apparently, this partner is just too damn lucky. Thankfully for me, no one suspects that the system was tampered with. The car was completely destroyed, so there isn't exactly much evidence to search for anyway. At least my darling is now home alone when they get back from visiting their partner. And that's when I'll step in. I've taken into consideration all the possible scenarios. I'll talk with them and try to convince them into coming with me willingly. But, in case they don't want to love me, I'll also bring the gun, along with some cloth and chloroform. Everything is ready now. I'm so nervous that my hand is trembling while I record this. As soon as their phone leaves the hospital, I'll go to their apartment and wait for them there. Wish me luck. Both our lives will change drastically starting today. Only fate will decide how much of a change this will be. Well, here we are. Do I have everything? Let's see, I have my keys, my wallet, the flowers, a cake, the gun. Okay, darling. We have everything. How are your wrists doing, my love? Oh, I hope the handcuffs don't hurt. I'm sorry about making you put them on, but really this is your first time going outside since I took you from your home. And I didn't want you to try anything stupid. I would hate it if you made me use the gun on you. Are you nervous? You're going to meet my best friend on her birthday, nonetheless. Since Mary died, I've always come to this graveyard each year with a cake for her. And I spend some time next to her tomb, talking to her and telling her how my life is going. Sharing interesting voice notes that I may have recorded throughout the year. But you're the most interesting thing that's happened to me in quite a few years. So I'm sure she's going to be happy to meet you. Now let's get going, darling. Today is very cold and the sun's already set. So I don't think a lot of people are going to be visiting their loved ones. But the sooner we get there, the better. I don't want to have to deal with other people at the adjacent graves while I'm talking to my friend. And here we are. 4th row, 7th grave. Mary Isabel Smith. It's my best friend who died when we were 10 years old. I've been coming here for so long now, but it still doesn't make it any easier. Not a day passes without me wondering how different my life would be if Mary was still alive. She was the only person to ever care for me. Darling, pass the lighter, please. We need to light up the candles on the cake. She always loved candles. Thank you. Hello, Mary. Happy birthday. I've come here to celebrate with you, as always, my friend. Do you like the cake? It's your favorite. Chocolate with strawberries on top. I've been through some financial difficulties in the past few months, but I'd never be stingy when it comes to your cake. I brought some flowers too. Yellow roses, your favorite. I still keep that beautiful drawing of them you made. How are you doing? I hope you're enjoying the afterlife as much as possible. You deserve it, my friend. I still think about you every single day. You don't know how much I wish I could hug you right now. I would give everything I have so that you could have an actual birthday party. God. Sometimes I wonder how you would look now. It's almost 2 decades after you died. Oh, you would have been a gorgeous woman, I'm sure. I've tried to follow your dream to become a writer and dedicate every single book I wrote to you. But that hasn't been possible. As you know, my life has not been easy. So I'm afraid that becoming a writer is almost impossible for me as it is for you right now. but we have some catching up to do. I have some news to tell you. Some bad, but this year, there's some good news. Let's start with the good news. For the 5th year in a row, I've managed to avoid becoming homeless again. Are you proud of me? I'm sure you are. You know how difficult it was for me to get out of the streets. The only good thing at that time was that I could come here a lot more often. Do you remember all those nights we spent together? How I would sneak through the hole in the back fence while the night guard was sleeping, and then lay down on top of your grave with a blanket. Sometimes, it even felt like you were hugging me. And I'm sure that you were at least trying. But having a roof over my head is better. Also, my father died. I'm not quite sure what they did to his body, as he was still in jail. I didn't bother to ask. But there's been another death last year that's been a lot harder on me. Oh, Mary. Mr. Mittens passed. We put him down on the 28th of December last year. He was getting sicker and sicker, and there was no prospect of him improving. I had to put him down. His little meows of pain were too much for me to bear, Mary. The way he looked at me at the vet when they put that injection in. Oh, God, it broke my heart. I haven't felt so much pain since you died. But, funnily enough, that day actually happened to be the starting point of the best thing that's ever happened to me. Probably in my whole life. That same day at the supermarket, I met the person you see with me right now. You've probably been wondering this whole time who they are. Well, Mary, this is my partner. Yes, I have a partner now. Come here, darling. Get closer. Say hello to Mary. She wants to meet you. So, what do you think? Absolutely gorgeous, am I right? Oh, Mary, it was love at first sight. From the moment I saw them, I just knew they had to be mine. It took some effort, of course. I had to stalk them for a while. And they had a partner, so I tampered with his car. And then when they were home alone, I kidnapped them and brought them home with me. Oh, yada, yada, yada. You know the rest. Yeah, you know how love is. But for the last few months, we've been dating. And lately, they've even started to show some affection back. Oh, Mary. I am so happy. You can't imagine how much I wish you two would be able to meet in person. My two favorite people. You get along so well, I'm sure of it. You would definitely give them your seal of approval. Now let's share the cake. I'll cut a piece for myself and another for you, my darling. And then I'll leave the rest for you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday. birthday to you. It was a pleasure talking to you, as it always is, my friend. But now I'm afraid I must go. But I'll be thinking of you every single day, as I've done all the years before. Of course we're leaving the cake here, silly. It's for Mary. Well, it'd be rude to leave her without a cake on her own birthday, don't you think? Now let's get going, darling. I think it's starting to rain. Not exactly a fan of the rain. Yeah, of course you can ask a question, my love. Ask anything you want. Honesty and communication are key in any relationship. What did Mary die of? Well, most people would call it an accident. I'd call it murder. Mary and I were playing on the street, just minding our own business. And then some kids showed up. They were some classmates of ours. Absolute idiots that used to bully us constantly. We tried to ignore them, but they were really looking for a fight. So they started shouting and calling us horrible things. Normally, I just ignore them, or let them call me whatever they want, hoping that they'll just get bored and leave. But Mary is more hot-tempered, so she wanted them to leave and started cussing them out. They didn't like anyone standing up to them, so to teach her a lesson, they grabbed her by the legs and arms and threw her onto the road. At the same time, a truck was going down the street, way above the speed limit. The driver didn't see her in time. No, you can't understand the slightest idea of how I felt, darling. Only people who have lived through something like that can understand. I wanted to die and to kill, to cry and scream until my vocal cords were shredded. I wanted to give each and every one of those boys the most painful and gruesome death I could imagine. I saw it all happen with my very eyes, darling. And the image of the aftermath will be burnt into them forever. What happened to those kids? What do you think happened to them, darling? They got away scot-free. I was the only other witness, so they covered each other's backs and said that Mary had tripped and fallen into the road. And a month after that, I was in a juvenile detention center because I had stolen my father's gun and tried to kill them. She was the only person to ever be kind to me. The only person until I met you. And that's why I fell in love with you. Mary and you have been the only people to make me feel loved, even if they are different kinds of love. Why were we bullied? I don't think most bullies need a reason. They just find excuses and things that are different. In my case, I was just a shy and weird little boy. For Mary, it's because she was half Mexican. Those guys were jealous of her for acing Spanish class. Yes, Mary had a father that came from Mexico. That's why her middle name is Isabel. It was her grandmother's name. You know, when Mary was alive, she had a cat called Mia. A beautiful tuxedo cat. She was actually Mr. Mitten's mother. Mia means mine in Spanish. And that's why she was named like that. Her mother got her a cat when she was very little, and she would always say, "My cat, my cat, my cat." And eventually, she officially named it like that. Although I think the cat's name was Daisy or something. Come here, darling. What am I doing? I'm taking your cuffs off, can't you see? I don't really feel like I can drive right now. I feel like I'm about to break down and cry at any moment. If I was on my own, I wouldn't even mind risking an accident. But now that I have you, I'd hate to put you in any kind of danger, my love. So you're going to drive us home today. This is also the perfect opportunity for you to show me that I can start giving you more liberties. I know the way home by heart. So if you try anything funny, remember that, although I hate using it, I still have my gun. Let's go home now, darling. I can't wait to be home. Be sure to subscribe and click the like button. YouTube tells me that only good girls are going to click on the video suggested right here, so I'm sure I'll see you there.